The following biological macromolecules are true polymers except carbohydrates, lipids, proteins, and nucleic acids, okay? The only thing that isn't true here is lipids, okay? The following biological macromolecules are true polymers except lipids. This refers to the process of putting together while losing water. Now, this is dehydration synthesis. The following statements about a hydrolysis reaction are false, except a polymer is broken down to its constituent monomers and water is consumed in the process, because this is true. A polymer is broken down to its constituent monomers and water is consumed in the process. How many molecules of water are needed to completely hydrolyze a polymer that is 15 monomers long? It's 14. It's always is minus 1. This refers to the bond between monosaccharides and a polysaccharide. Now, this is a glycosidic bond. This refers to the bond between monosaccharides and a polysaccharide. Glycosidic bond. This refers to the bond between the two sugars and a sugar-phosphate backbone. This is the phosphodiester bond. Okay, remember that. When we're going to talk about the bond that between the two sugars and a sugar-phosphate backbone, it would be the phosphodiester bond. This refers to the class of carbohydrates that are very diverse in structure and characteristically not sweet and not soluble in water. This is polysaccharides. Salivary amylase is an enzyme found in the saliva that digests starch and carbohydrate into smaller molecules. What kind of biological macromolecule is amylase? This is protein, okay? Amylase is protein. Amylase is protein. Which of the following statements are true about lipids? Their association as a group is related to their solubility behavior. Okay, so their association to that group is related to their solubility behavior. Next question. Fats are called saturated when the following statements occur. It's single bonds between the carbons in the hydrocarbon chain. Yeah, that makes sense. Which of the following fats are likely to occur as liquid at room temperature? The correct answer here is unsaturated fats. The fats that are most likely to occur as liquid at room temperature is unsaturated fats. Manufacturers make vegetable oils solid or semi-solid at room temperature by they adding hydrogen atoms to the fatty acid hydrocarbon chains, thereby converting carbon-carbon double bonds to single bonds. Okay? Carbon-carbon double bonds to single bonds, and they do this by adding the hydrogen. Number 13. The following statements are true about waxes except, okay, waxes consist of long-chain fatty acid linked to an alcohol, including glycerol. That is false. Okay, that's going to be false. The helix and pleated sheets represent which level of the protein structure? Helix and pleated structure. So that's the wavy ones and the curvy and the bumpy ones, and that would be the secondary. 15. There are amino acids that are necessary for construction of proteins in the body. This is essential amino acids. Laminarase, an enzyme isolated from seaweed, works at its optimal temperature of 30 degrees Celsius. Based on your knowledge of proteins, which scenario is most likely not going to happen to laminarase if it was exposed to 45 degrees Celsius? Alright, and based on this question, laminarase works at its optimal temperature of 30 degrees Celsius. So if we raise that temperature to 45 degrees Celsius, it would not work properly. So it says here, which of the scenario is most likely not going to happen? It would definitely be D. Laminarase will still work at optimum level at the elevated temperature. That's not true. It's like us having a fever. You won't be able to function well. Which of the following components of okay. Which of the following are components of a nucleotide? So the components of a nucleotide is a nitrogenous base, 5-carbon sugar, and phosphate group. Nitrogenous base, 5-carbon sugar, and phosphate group. Okay. In which order does the central dogma of biological occur? Okay, this is how it's going to work. The DNA strands will be duplicated, right? And the DNA will be transcribed into RNA. And then the RNA will be translated into protein. Okay? So, one of the true statements here that's going to be in the exams is going to be DNA serves as genetic materials while RNA is mainly involved with protein synthesis. Okay? DNA serves as the genetic materials while RNA is more in the protein synthesis. Which of the following best describes an mRNA? It serves as an intermediary between DNA and protein. Now, if you search up the meaning of what does intermediary mean? It just means a okay. So the mRNA. So this is the mRNA, and this is the RNA and the DNA. So this mRNA goes to RNA, DNA, and it's just usually in the middle. So it's more of an intermediary. So it's kind of like it goes back and forward. It's not really in one side, just going back and forward. Next, guys, we're done with 20 questions. Okay, true or false? Although each class of polymer is made up of a different type of monomer, the chemical mechanisms by which cells make and break down polymers are basically the same in all cases. This is true. One kind or different types of monomers can combine in many configurations in a dehydration synthesis. True. Carbohydrates are almost universally used as an immediate energy source only. False. Some monomers have functions of their own. True. Phospholipids have 3 tails while triglycerides have 2 tails. No, that's false. We gotta search this up. How many tails does phospholipids have? And how many tails does triglycerides have? So, it's false. Because phospholipids have 2 tails, while triglycerides have 3 tails. Okay? Proteins can function both for transport and defense in cells. That's true. An amino acid has an asymmetric carbon. I don't know, but I think it's true. Steroids have a fused ring structure. True. Waxes are esters of fatty acids with glycerol. False. Adenosine will always be paired with diamine. False. What? That's crazy. Okay. Now for the labeling part, as you can see, A is OH and H. So this is oxygen and hydrogen, and this is hydrogen. And if you know, OH is also nearly water. Okay. So if we combine the two, it's gonna be, what you call this? It's going to turn into water. H times H is 2, so it'll become H2O. So these things will be combined together. So each element like this is called a monomer, okay? And next, if they're combined, it's going to be called a monomer. And this process is called dehydration synthesis. Dehydration synthesis, okay? Because you're splitting them up. That's it. Good luck, bro.